talking about one of your passion projects, which is impact investment. And there are two ways of looking at it. One is that you've already made all the money you had to, and this is you now trying to give back in some small way. The other is that this could possibly be the next big idea, and it is not just socially good, but also commercially very viable. What are the big impact investment opportunities you spot in India at this moment?
Oh, it's huge. So first of all, it's not a passion project. I mean, just to correct you on that, this is like, I mean, again, the previous speaker talked about climate, right? And this title of the talk was supposed to be climate, but it is, I mean, we're sitting here in Mumbai. All right, so just to state the facts, sitting in Mumbai. Mumbai is the second largest city at risk, coastal city at risk in the world. Every modeling that suggests that even without assuming too much global warming, even at the trends we're going now, even a little lower, significant parts of Mumbai will be underwater in the next 20 to 25 years, unless something is done about it. So, I mean, historically, Mumbai grew out of the water. I mean, there were 7 islands around here which the British kind of combined, like Kolaba, Mumbai, Mahalakshmi, Parel, Mahim. Those were all islands. They became into one. And essentially, these studies show that a combination of seawater rising, a combination of increasing rainfall in a more concentrated period of time, as well as more cyclones and stuff, which we've been seeing and we'll only see more of. Essentially, things like Marine Drive, Haji Ali, this Western Express Highway will all be underwater. So to the extent, but the key though, from a development standpoint, what does it matter? Because people who are in this room and others may be less impacted. Half of Mumbai who's living, at the sea level, what happens to them? So there's that bigger development issue, but there is a massive amount of investment. Energy transition, whether it be mobility, people all talk about EVs and all that, it's a small piece. But whether it be EVs, agriculture, urban development, this whole area of clean tech, that is, and in fact, like I said, I'm developing a whole new course at Harvard Business School on climate strategies and opportunities as far as India goes. That is where the biggest opportunity in the world is next 50 to 50 years, 25 to 50 years. It is the equivalent of when the horse carriage went to combustion engines. It is the equivalent of, if you think about what happened 20 years ago on the internet, all the trillion-dollar companies of today, Amazon, Meta, Google, et cetera, were all set up less than 20 years ago. And I think that India is ripe for actually, taking a massive amount of this opportunity from an investment perspective and growing it. Because not just the domestic market, this is the opportunity. So one stat, like asking you a question since you have very good answers. Today, 50%.
This is the problem with the professor. Even in class, and I remember this, he would cold call students. Some professors are nice and gentle and they'll look at who might know the answer to a question and go to him and be nice. He was brutal, and there he is. Why didn't you cold call somebody from the audience? And this is the second time he's doing
well, I can ask Arun.
Arun,
Arun, maybe you want to answer this question. Like 50, like a good CEO. So right now, 50% of India's current account deficit, like I said, is oil. What do you think, what will be the biggest potential current account deficit item 30 years from now? What do you think?
Okay, who wants to venture a guess? You've got lots of top CEOs sitting here. Does any of them want to give us a guess on what could be the largest contributor to India's current account deficit?
What is the new oil? There are not going to be, people have banned EVs in the whole world, and that's going to come here too.
Water?
But importing water is a problem. So this is like import-export, right? So what would be the biggest potential? Yeah, metals. Basically, the whole world is going to be powered on metals and batteries. Keep this in mind. Everything you do, this room, you walk, your phone, everything, your movement is hydrogen, metals, etc. And basically, if you look at the metals, copper, nickel, zinc, aluminum, there are 5, 6 of these metals and rare earths. That is where India should be investing, because otherwise what you're going to have and that's a huge investment opportunity, by the way. A lot of people are looking at that. 25, 30 years from now, you'll be in the same boat where instead of oil, you're scrounging around the world for copper and copper prices going through the roof, etc., because the whole country is being run that way. So in terms of longer term thinking, that's the other thing, is like, where do I become a lot more export oriented, and B is how do I reduce reliance on imports, things like this, around the climate issue. Massive investment opportunity.